طيب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين وآله وصحبه أجمعين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. We are starting. طيب. Who has the hadiths? Anybody have it? You have? Who had it last time? Munir, you have it? Read it, please. Hadith number 53. Hadith number 53. Close this door, please. Okay. We find it? Come closer, Move forward. Move forward. Tell you to move this one. Move over. What's taking so she can't find it? Come on, read. Bismillah. Hadith number 53. It should say, Babu Ada'ul Khumus min al-Eemaan. The chapter of giving a fifth from the war booty is from Eemaan. That's what it should say. Hadith number 53. Number 53. It's right here. To pay the khumus, right here. Hadith number 53, narrated right here. The second hadith on that page. Don't sit on that. Don't sit there.
I used to sit with Ibn
No, that's not how. Is that what the first person says?
Oh no.
Read the whole thing.
I used to sit with Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, and he made me sit on his sitting place. He requested me to stay with him in order that he might give me a share from his property. So I stayed with him for 2 months. Once he told me that when the delegation of the tribe of
Abdul Qais
came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked them, "Who are the people? Who are the delegates?" They replied, "We are."
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. They said? Alaikum salam. They said? Keep going, keep reading.
We are from the tribe of
Rabi'a.
Sorry.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to them, "Welcome, O people. Neither will you have disgrace or will you regret." They said, "O Allah's Messenger, we cannot come to you except in the sacred month, and there is the infidel tribe of Mudar intervening between you and us.
Mudar.
So please order us to do something good, so that we may inform our people whom we left behind, and that we may enter paradise."
Then they asked them about, keep going.
Then they asked about drinks. The Prophet ﷺ ordered them to do 4 things and forbade them from 4 things. He ordered them to believe in Allah alone and asked them, "Do you know what is meant by believing in Allah?" They replied, "Allah and His Messenger know better." Thereupon the Prophet ﷺ said, "It means to testify that La ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammad Rasulullah, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad is the Messenger. Iqam as-salat, to perform the compulsory congregation of salah, to pay the zakat, to observe Psalm during the month of Ramadan, and to pay al-khumus 1/5 of the booty to be given in a lost cause. Then he forbade them 4 things, namely al-hantam, al-duba, al-naqib, and al-musafad, or al-muqayyad. These were the names of pots in which alcoholic drinks were prepared. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned the container of wine, and he meant the wine itself. The Prophet ﷺ further said to them, memorize them, these instructions, and convey them to the people whom you have left behind.
بارك الله فيكم وجزاكم الله خيرا. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. باب أداء الخمس من الإيمان. What is the purpose of this book again? Let's remind us that we're all on the same page. Why are we reading the book of Eemaan from Saheeh al-Bukhaaree? What is the benefit that we are trying to achieve? Someone remind us. What do we learn about Eemaan? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What do we learn about Eemaan? Huh? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What do we learn about Eemaan? What is the whole purpose of us reading this book? We got to remind ourselves of our objective. You don't remember? What is Eemaan? Someone tell me, what is Eemaan? It goes up. It goes up how? Through obedience to Ar-Rahman. It goes down through disobedience to Shaitan. What was the objective of us reading the book again? Is to remind us all that actions are from Eemaan. That is not enough for us to just say I'm a Muslim. It is not enough for me to just say that my name is Abdullah, or my name is Amatullah, or my name is whatever. But I have to do actions, right? And actions are from Eemaan. It is not permissible. It is not okay for me to say, don't judge me. Allah knows my heart, and I don't do any actions of the Muslim. I have to do the actions that are part of my Eemaan. That was the whole purpose again, right, of us studying this chapter of Sahih al-Bukhaaree. To show and bring a hadith that prove that Eemaan is not just talk. It's not just lip service. It's not just what I say, but rather Eemaan is also what I do and believe. Not just what I say. Not just what I believe and I hide in my heart. Eemaan has to be proven by what, Abdurrahman? What is Eemaan proven by? Your actions. We have to do the actions that prove our Eemaan. طيب? So, this hadith we have here, it says, حدثنا علي بن الجعد قال أخبرنا شعبة عن أبي جمرة قال كنت أقعد مع ابن عباس يجلسني على سريره فقال أكم عندي حتى أجعل لك سهما من مالي فأقمت معه الشهرين. So it starts off, it says on authority that Ali ibn al-Ja'ad, he informed us, he narrated to us that Shu'bah informed us on the authority of Abu Jamrah. Abu Jamrah, he said that Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, I used to sit with Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, and he would make me sit beside him in his sitting place. Right? What's the first thing we learn here? Who is Abu Jamrah? What would he be called? What would Abu Jamrah be called? Huh? A companion? No, how can he be a companion? He's not a companion. Abu Jamrah said that I used to sit with Ibn Abbas. Who was Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma? He was what?
Companion.
He was a Sahabi. He was a companion. So what are the students of the companions called? What are the students of the companion called? It's very important that we know who the students of the companions are and who the students of the companions. What were the names of the students of the companions? They were called Tabi'un. Tabi'un, right? The ones who followed after the companions. They came after the companions. As the Prophet ﷺ, he told us, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the best of people are what? My generation, the people who live with me, my companions. Then those who come after them, then those who come after them. So we need to know who they are because they are the best of the people that we should follow. Doesn't mean we follow them blindly, but it means that it's better for us to follow them than to follow our own opinions. Right? As the Prophet ﷺ verified and vouched for them, that they are better in opinion They're better in their worship. They're better in their deen. Right? So, Abu Jamra is considered a what? Tabi'un. Right? He's from amongst the Tabi'een. He said, I used to sit, كنت أقعد مع ابن عباس. I used to sit with Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. وهو يجلسني على سريره. And he used to make me sit where? On his sitting place. Where he would sit at, he would make me sit there too. And he told me, Ibn Abbas, he said, come sit with me so that I will give you a portion of my wealth. There is different opinion amongst the scholars about why Ibn Abbas said this to him. Some said it was because of a dream that he had when he performed Umrah or Hajj. But then what's clear, and Allah knows best, is that Ibn Abbas was paying him to do a service. That he was going to either, if Ibn Abbas said something that people didn't understand or couldn't hear it, that he would he would say it again. He would make it louder or make it clear so they can hear it. And they can understand what Ibn Abbas was saying. And he said he did this for 2 months. Some of the scholars, they derive from here the point that the one who teaches or the one who helps the teacher can be paid. From this example from Ibn Abbas. So Ibn Abbas one day, when he was fulfilling his job with Ibn Abbas, and he said he stayed there for 2 months. He said one time Ibn Abbas, he narrated to him a narration. He said, ثم قال إن وفد عبد القيس لما أتوا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, that when the delegation, right, wafd is a delegation, meaning if we live in one place and we want to send some people to go to see someone that's noble, someone that we want to find some things out from, you send a group of good people to be delegates, emissaries, ambassadors almost, right? To go get information, bring it back, or to make a relationship between two different people or two different groups. So the delegation of Abdul Qais, of ambassadors or emissaries from Abdul Qais, or people, they're really reality in this situation, Tulab al-Ilm. In reality, Tulab al-Ilm. They were sent with the purpose of doing what Tulab al-Ilm should do. Go learn from the people of Ilm and bring it back, right? And teach the people what we've learned. Go bring the Ilm back, go get it, and bring it back to the people so that you can benefit your people. That's the purpose of any talib al-ilm. That he benefits himself and comes back and benefits his people. May Allah bless us. So, when they came, the Prophet ﷺ, what was the name of this delegation? Who were they from? What was their name? The delegation of what?
Abdul Qais.
MashaAllah, you're paying attention. Abdul Qais, na'am. So, when they came, the Prophet said, called Man al-Qawm or Man al-Wafd. The Prophet ﷺ said, in the doubt here, where it says, he said, who are the people or who are the delegations? Not from the Prophet, it's not from Ibn Abbas. It was either from the narrators after him. They didn't know if the narration came, did the Prophet say Men al-Qawm or did he say Men al-Wafd? What does that tell us there? What is the benefit that we see from this type of thing? That the narration says, قال رسول الله قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من القوم أو من الوفد. What benefit do we get from here? Think. I know it's Saturday. You almost Sept. All right. What's today's date? Anybody know? What's today's date?
September 7th.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, right? It's what?
September 8th.
Absolutely not.
It's the 8th of Muhammad.
MashaAllah, barakallahu feekum. Somebody has correct aqidah here. Right? Right? What did the Prophet ﷺ said? قد استدار إن الزمان قد استدار, right? كهيئة يوم خلق الله السماوات والأرض. Right? The Prophet ﷺ said, indeed the time has come back to how Allah, when it was when Allah created the heavens and earth. Allah didn't create the heavens and earth was September 8th. What day is it again? The 8th of Muharram. Why is that important? That we know it's the 8th of Muharram and not September 8th. Somebody tell me why is that so important? Because if you think it's September 8th, you're going to miss a huge day in the next 2 days, right? You're going to miss a huge opportunity, right?
Ashura.
Fasting Ashura. It happens on what day? The 9th? The 9th? No, it's the 10th. Barakallahu feekum. Wake up. Ashura is the 10th. But we should all start fasting from when? Tomorrow. Why? The Prophet ﷺ said what?
A day ahead or a day after?
He said a day ahead. Sumu yawman qablahu or yawman ba'da. Fast a day before it or a day after. But in another narration that we are going to act on, inshallah, because we want to do the best, right? The Prophet said in another narration, Sumu yawman qablahu wa yawman ba'dahu. Fast a day before it and a day after. So we want to try to do that. We want to fast these 3 days, inshallah, right? We want to fast the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Another small benefit is that who knows the narration when the Prophet ﷺ, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, used to say that we used to make our children fast. Anybody heard this narration before? That narration, some of it comes in the hadith speaking about Ashura. That it wasn't just Ramadan that they would make their children fast. They would make their children get used to fasting on these type of days as well. So the young people should not say, oh, why would I fast? No, everyone should be trying to fast tomorrow. Even our young ones. So that we build up strength and stamina to be strong. Do we understand? And to be able to do ibadah from a young age, inshallah. So, what's the benefit of seeing in this narration that it comes manil qawm or manil wafd? Who are the people or who are the delegation? This wording means the same thing in reality. But what is the benefit of us mentioning that? It's important. I'll tell you. You have to give me $5 each though. Knowledge isn't free. No, I'm joking. So, anyway, right? Bismillah. The benefit of it is the precision of the scholars of hadith. The dabt, the precision and accuracy found amongst the scholars of hadith. He could not remember exactly the wording, even though the meanings are almost exactly the same. Who are the people, who are the delegation, both meaning the same thing. They mentioned it, I don't remember exactly which one it was, so I'm going to give you both. Right? And it shows you how Islam was preserved. There is no deen on this earth. There is no religion, no people on this earth that have as much accuracy and precision as the Muslims. The isnad, this thing that we say, that he said. There's no one that had this before the Muslims. This shows how our deen was preserved. That's an honor. As the ulama of the past said, al-isnad min ad-deen. وَلَوْ لَا الْإِسْنَادُ لَقَالُوا مَا شَاءَ لَقَالُوا مَنْ شَاءَ مَا شَاءَ. That the isnad, this chain of narration, that we are honored to have, is a part of the deen. And if it wasn't for this, whoever wanted to say whatever would say whatever. So we see here how precise they were. That they said, call on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, man al-qawm or man al-waf. Do we understand? Tell me why is that important, Abdul Rahman?
Because that shows how the companions were like precise.
This mistake or the doubt didn't come from a companion. It didn't come from Ibn Abbas, and it didn't come from Abu Jamrah, as it comes clear in other narrations. It came from the people who narrated after them. So it wasn't even the companions, it was the scholars of hadith that came after them, how precise even they were. Does that make sense? So that makes what? We should be precise. We should try our best to be precise and strong in knowledge. Because that's the sunnah of the people who came before us, not to be weak in knowledge, right? As sometimes you guys see in the Quran, right, how we do the Quran, that we don't let you get away with the mistakes anymore, right? And you say, oh, he's so mean, but that's not our sunnah, to be weak like that. Our sunnah is to be strong and to be precise, right? Do we see that benefit now? Does that become clear? Tayyib, inshallah. So he says, قَالُوا رَبِيعَ. Say, we're a tribe from the people of Rabi'ah. Not all of us, but we're from the people of Rabi'ah, right? قَالَ مَرْحَبًا بِالْقَوْمِ أَوْ بِالْوَفْدِ. So he said, the Prophet said, welcome. مَرْحَبًا بِالْقَوْمِ أَوْ بِالْوَفْدِ. Again, he didn't know if it was qawm or wafd, right? So he said both. But marhaban means what? Welcome. Be at ease. Here you go. This is your place. Enjoy, right? Marhaban. So that the Prophet ﷺ was honorable and gave welcome and had good manners. People came to visit. Marhaban. You're here, mashallah. Then the Prophet ﷺ said some very nice words to them after that. غَيْرُ خَزَايَ وَلَا نَدَامَ. Welcome to a people who they have not been humiliated and they won't have any regrets in the future. They have not been humiliated. غَيْرُ خَزَايَ وَنَدَامَ. That they will have وَلَا نَدَامَ. That they have not been humiliated. What does it mean they have not been humiliated? Meaning that these people accepted Islam without any war. They accepted Islam without being taken captive, without being made prisoner, without having to be given being forced to become Muslim. They accepted Islam willingly. They weren't humiliated or subjugated to accept Islam. They came willingly to Islam. That's an honor. So they weren't humiliated. And as well, the Prophet ﷺ told him that you won't have any regrets. You won't have any regrets. فَقَالُوا, then they said, Ya Rasulullah. They said, Ya Rasulullah. Now, even after this, right, they're going to mention why they didn't come before. What took them so long to come? Or why they felt like they took long to come. But everything happens by the qadr of Allah. They said, إِنَّا لَا نَسْتَطِيعُ أَن نَأْتِيَكَ إِلَّا فِي الشَّهْرِ الْحَرَامِ وَبَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكَ هَذَا الْحَيُّ مِنْ كُفَّارِ مُضَرٍ. So they said, Ya Rasulullah, لَا نَسْتَطِيعُ. We were not able, and نَأْتِيَكَ, we were not able to come to you, to visit you, except during the what? Sacred months. What are the 4 sacred months? What are the 4 sacred months? Muharram is one, yes. Dhul Hijjah is another. Dhul Qa'dah is another. And Rajab is the last. Can someone say them in order? No. Well, yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, that's right, actually. MashaAllah, bless you. I'm thinking about the order mentioned in the hadith. That the Prophet ﷺ said, ثلاث متواليات ذو القعدة ذو الحجة المحرم ورجب مضار ورجب مضار الذي بين جمادى وشعبان. Right? The Prophet ﷺ said 4 of those months are sacred, 3 of them are consecutive, ذو القعدة, ذو الحجة, and Muharram, and then Rajab al-Mudar, which is between the Jumad al-Akhirah and Sha'ban. So what was the benefit? What do we know about Rajab? Who honored Rajab? Who was the people who used to make Rajab most honorable? Or used to exemplify or make ta'zeem, glorify or make big the time during Rajab? Who used to do that? What people? The tribe of what? Mudar. Tribe of Mudar. And here we see in this hadith that they said what? What tribe is between them and the Prophet ﷺ? The tribe of Mudar. So either way, they couldn't go out and get to them because there was a tribe of Mudar that was causing them problems. And they would have tried to fight with them and kill them if they tried to come to the Prophet ﷺ. They were kafirs, a kafir tribe. So they had to take the opportunity during the sacred months that they knew that these kafirs would not fight them in. They knew they wouldn't fight them during these sacred months, so they came during the Prophet ﷺ to the Prophet ﷺ during that time. That makes sense? They took a good opportunity. They were smart. Do you understand that? What's the question? Oh, okay. Then we get to the part where he says, فَمُرْنَا بِأَمْرٍ فَصْلٍ. So he said, order us with something that, distinguish a command that shows the truth from the false, a command that gives us knowledge, something decisive, something that we can understand. Why? Why do we want this knowledge? Munira. Why do they want this knowledge? He said, نُخْبِرْ بِهِ مَنْ وَرَاءَنَا وَنَدْخُلْ بِهِ الْجَنَّةِ. 2 reasons they wanted this knowledge. So they can inform the people who they left behind, and so that they can enter into Jannah with it. That should be our intent for seeking knowledge. That we can inform those who are not here, those who Allah did not bless to come to the halaqah of ilm. We want to be able to teach them and tell them what they missed, and so that we can enter into Jannah by it. There's no other reason we need knowledge. Not because we want to be famous, not because we want money, not because of anything except so we can inform those who are not here, and so that we can enter into Jannah by it. That's our intent for seeking knowledge. May Allah bless us to be upon that. Right? What's your intent for seeking knowledge, Abdul Rahman? You didn't hear. You were asleep. MashaAllah, wake up. Zubair, what's your intent for seeking knowledge?
To inform those who are not there and to go to Jannah by it.
Inshallah, right? Sabir, assalamu alaikum. How's everything? Good? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. What's your intent for seeking knowledge, Abdul Rahman?
To inform people who are not here.
Uh-huh.
To
seek for a Jannah. No. What about you, Ms. Noor? What's your intent for seeking knowledge? And what else? 2 things is mentioned here. So you can inform and lift ignorance from your people. We should not be happy to see our people being ignorant, or our people acting ignorantly, or our people doing things that are going to take them away from Jannah. That should be a goal for us. We shouldn't want to go to Jannah by ourselves. We want to get to Jannah and have a party, see all our people, right? Yo, there you go, mashallah, you made it, Allahu Akbar. We don't want to get there and be there by ourselves and just be looking at the trees. Nah. We want to bring people to Jannah with us. We don't want to see people go to Jahannam. So you want to inform and teach your people, remove the ignorance from you. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِي وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لِتُنذِرَ أُمَّ الْقُرَى وَمَنْ حَوْلَهَا وَتُنذِرَ يَوْمَ الْجَمْعِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. What did Allah say? That likewise we sent to you a Quran in Arabic, right? قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لِتُنذِرَ أُمَّ الْقُرَى وَمَنْ حَوْلَهَا. So that you might warn who? al-Qura, the people of Mecca and whoever surrounds it. Right? Showing that no one should want their people. Allah, warn your people, remove the ignorance from your people, and then the ones that come around it as well. وَتُنذِرَ يَوْمَ الْجَمْعِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, and warn about a day that there is no doubt about it. فَرِيقٌ فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَفَرِيقٌ فِي السَّعِيرِ. A group of people will be in Jannah and a group of people will be in the fire. So we want to make sure and we want to at least give our best effort to try to call as many of our people so that they don't enter into Sa'ir. Right? Does that make sense? May Allah guide us to be upon that. وَسَأَلُوهُ عَنِ الْأَشْرِبَةِ. And they asked him about the different types of drinks that were famous amongst the Arab. What can they drink and what could they not drink? Right? فَأَمَرَهُمْ بِأَرْبَعٍ. He commanded them with 4 things. وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ أَرْبَعٍ. And he forbade them for 4 things. أَمَرَهُمْ. He commanded them with what? بِالْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ وَحْدَهِ. He commanded him to believe in Allah alone. What is Eemaan in Allah? Tell me. Oh yes, that's true. That's true. But what is Eemaan generally? What is Eemaan? What is Eemaan? I'm going to ask you. You know the answer. What's Eemaan? No, what is Eemaan? I'm just asking, what is Eemaan? When a person says, what is Eemaan? That just means generally, what is Eemaan? We don't say faith when we're talking about, I'm asking you as a talib al-ilm, I'm not asking you as a general person. General people, we allow them to say faith. You're a talib al-ilm. So I expect you to say, Eemaan is what? Belief in Allah, belief with the tongue. Eemaan is belief in the heart, speech of the tongue, action of the limbs. It goes up with obedience to Ar-Rahman, it goes down with obedience to Shaitan. I expect that every time I say, what is Eemaan? All 5 of those things, huh? Al-Iman, nutq bil-lisan, Al-Iman is what? Iman bil-qalb, or it's, Iman is belief in the heart, speech of the tongue, action of the limb, right? I'tiqad bil-qalb, right? Nutq bil-lisan, wa-amal bil-jawarih. Yazid bi-ta'at al-Rahman, wa yankus bi-ta'at al-Shaytan, right? So, again, I want that every time. All 5 of these should be mentioned as our definition of what Eemaan is. Right? So I'm asking you again, what is Eemaan? طيب. So the Prophet ﷺ, he told them, he commanded Amrahum bi what? Bil-Iman billahi wahda. To believe in Allah alone. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he asked them, what's the question? Huh?
I asked so it's like disobedience.
Obedience to Shaitan. It's important that you say it just like that. Right? يَزِيدُ بِطَاعَةِ الرَّحْمَنِ وَيَنْقُصْ بِطَاعَةِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Not disobedience to Allah, because that's clear. But we want to make it even clearer to show you that what do you do by disobeying Allah? You obey Shaitan. Do you see the difference in the wording? That when you disobey Allah, in reality you're doing what? Obeying Shaitan. Anybody want to be known as the one who obeys Shaitan? No. But that's what you do if you disobey Allah. Tayyib? So, the Prophet ﷺ, he then asked the group, أَتَدْرُونَ مَا الْإِيمَانُ بِاللَّهِ وَحْدَهُ. Do you know what it means to believe in Allah alone? Do you know what it means to have Eemaan and Allah alone? They responded back as anyone should do when they don't know. Allahu wa rasuluhu a'lam. Allah and His Messenger know best. He said, Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. He said to bear witness, to testify, to say with firm belief, right? Firm knowledge, certainty, that there is nothing that deserves to be worshipped except for Allah. There is no true God except for Allah. And Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. That's number one. Belief in Allah, he's showing you something. There's a benefit from this word in here. وَإِقَامُ الصَّلَاةِ, to establish the salah. وَإِتَاءُ الزَّكَاةِ, to pay the zakat. وَصِيَامُ رَمَضَانِ, to fast in the month of Ramadan. وَأَن تُعْتُوا مِنَ الْمَغْنَمِ الْخُمُسِ, and to give from the war booties, the ghanima, right? When you go to war and you take something from the people, it's called a war booty, right? When you take that war booty, a fifth of it belongs to Allah and His Messenger, right? Tayyib? We understand that? So now, what's the benefit in bringing this hadith in this chapter of Eemaan? That when he said, do you know what Eemaan is? He mentioned what? Shahada. Muhammad Rasulullah. Shahada la ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. What is that? What type of action is that? Shahada. What is that? What is the Shahada?
That's a crowd.
What is the Shahada? No. We're not talking about, because people can say Shahada all day long and not believe. What is Shahada? Speech of the tongue. You say ashhadu, you say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Just because you said it doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean there's belief in the heart behind that. There has to be belief in the heart for it to be accepted and by Allah. But people can say it all day long. But then munafiqeen say it when they become Muslim, right? And they want to destroy Islam. So it's a statement, it's an action of the tongue, right? Primarily, it's an action of the tongue. وَإِقَامُ الصَّلَاةِ, what is that? What is that? What type of action?
That's action.
Action of the limb. وَإِتَاءُ الزَّكَاةِ, what is that?
That's
Action of the limb. وَصِيَامُ رَمَضَانِ, what is that? Action of the limb. وَتُعْتُوا مِنَ الْمَغْنَمِ خُمُسُهُ, what is that? Action of the limb. So it's showing you that when he mentioned Eemaan, he mentioned speech of the tongue and he mentioned actions of the limbs. So actions is what? Actions is what? Come on, actions is a part of Eemaan. We cannot take actions out of Eemaan. Actions is what? Are what? If you don't do the actions of the Muslim, especially some actions that if you don't pray, you don't do certain things, that subhanAllah, like yesterday, right? I'll give you an example. I was somewhere yesterday, and a man told me, right? He said, oh, I'm a Muslim. So, mashallah, that's great, right? And he said, but I eat pork. I said, what? He said, yeah, I eat pork. I said, you like that? You know, he said it proudly, I eat pork. I said, man, subhanAllah. Then his friend or brother, whatever he might have been, he said, yeah, he's Muslim, but he's modern Muslim. He only believes, he believes in the Quran, like the Jews and Christians believe in the Bible. He only believes in parts of it. And the guy told me, he said, no. He said, man, you can't believe everything that comes in the Quran. I said, subhanAllah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obligated us, right? That if you know, subhanAllah, if you disbelieve in one letter of the Quran, you're not a Muslim. If you disbelieve that one letter of the Quran is not from Allah or is not true, you're not a Muslim. So this whole thing, honestly, I don't know if the man was really Muslim or if he was joking. I'm hoping that he was not a Muslim. I don't know what I'm hoping, actually. I don't want to say that. But I'm hoping that, he was ignorant, very ignorant, and maybe Allah will guide him. But to speak like this is craziness. Actions is part of Eemaan. You can't do certain things to consider yourself to be a complete Muslim or a complete believer. Or people say, oh, I don't do that, but you don't know. You know how many times, subhanAllah, especially today, that people say, oh, you judge that person and they're probably a better Muslim than you. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But you telling me that you don't pray and you're going to be a better Muslim than a Muslim who prays? You're going to tell me that, you don't give zakat and you're a better Muslim than the Muslim who gives zakat? You don't fast Ramadan, but you're a better Muslim than the one who fasts Ramadan? You don't, subhanAllah, it's unbelievable. Because actions are a part of Eemaan. If you have such strong love and connection to Allah, why does it not show in your actions? Does that make sense? If you have so strong, your love for Allah is so great, why doesn't it show in your actions? It's like the woman who says she has hayat, but she doesn't cover. If you have so much modesty, why doesn't it show in your behavior, in your actions? Right? May Allah guide us. So, then he continued, he says, وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ أَرْبَعٍ. And he forbade them from 4 things, because remember they asked about types of drinks, right? He forbade them from al-hatam, wal-duba'i, wal-naqir, wal-muzaffat. وربما قال المقير وقال احفظوهن وأخبروا بهن من وراءكم. So he forbade them from certain drinks, right? And when he talked about the drinks, he didn't mention the actual drinks. He mentioned the things that carried the drinks, different containers. Like the hatam is a certain type of drink, a certain type of container that comes from the pumpkin gourd. They cut out the pumpkin and dry it out, and they eat it from here. I mean, they store stuff in it. Another type of drink comes from another one of these containers is the one that comes from the date palm, the nakhla, right? And they take the palm tree and they open it up and they use it as a place to store their drinks in. So he forbade them from the different. And the other one, the muqayyir and muzaffat, this is tar. You know, like the stuff they put on the black stuff they put on like the ground to make it, or in the house to make it like
Waterproof.
Oh, that waterproof it, yeah, the tar. They would take this and oil it with this to keep it, to keep their drinks in it. So the Prophet ﷺ told them about these different containers. Similar to like today, if we said, okay, you know, the 40 ounce, right? I don't know if you guys know about that. American stuff, right? If you said a 40 ounce container, right? The American person's gonna know that you mean the beer, right? When you talk about the containers that people know amongst their people and say, that is haram. Don't utilize that. People say, okay, he said the 40 ounce container. That's talking about the beer. Or the wine bottle, right? No reason you should be drinking, anything out of a wine bottle is wine, normally, right? So he forbade them from the containers, indicating and pointing to that which was in the containers and being drinking or stored in those containers. Any questions in regards to that? I have questions. Who was the delegation? Who are they? Where were they from? What was their name? The delegation of what? You shouldn't have to go to your phone. Abdul Qais, Barakallahu Fikum Zubair. Tell you. What was the benefit in the narrator having doubt, showing the doubt of the narrator about what the Prophet actually said? Give me a benefit behind that.
They were precise.
Showing the precision of the narrator, right? Give me subhanallah. I have a huge benefit here. Somebody tell me, he mentioned them, he ordered them to do 4 things, right? Shahada, right? And la ilaha illallah. He ordered them to do iqamus salat, ita'uz zakat, was siyam, right? What's missing? Something is missing that we normally would say is from Hajj. Hajj is missing. Why is Hajj missing?
That was not first on that time.
MashaAllah, ya Shaykhana. Hajj was not obligatory at that time. Hajj was not obligatory at the time they came. They came early during the time the Prophet was in the Medina. Hajj became obligatory, and the most correct opinion is the 9th or 10th year of Hijrah. So they came before that. So before they came, during the time they came, Hajj was not obligatory, so the Prophet ﷺ did not mention to them the obligation of Hajj. You understand? What are the 4 sacred months? Jazakumullahu khairan. Tell you. Let's continue. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Read Ms. Munira, please. No.
Regarding the container,
One second, wait.
the container, he said, do not use the container, do not use the liquid inside the container.
It meant the liquid in the container. It meant the liquid in the container. But he just mentioned the container because that's what, it was famously known by. That they carried it in there. Give you an example. Is a 40-ounce bottle haram in reality? No. But it's commonly known to contain beer. That's what's most commonly known by. So he mentioned about what they knew it by. Commonly. Right? Another example, is the wine bottle haram? Because they have sometimes that sparkling grape juice or sparkling, you know, apple cider and stuff. You know about that? It's not wine, but it looks like wine, right? The bottle, but you know it's not alcohol inside. It's just juice. So, nah, like that. Go ahead, bismillah.
It goes up with 8 and then
Yeah.
and it goes down with probably
What certain body statements can be rewarded depends upon the intention and hoping to get reward from Allah.
طيب. Keep reading. فدخل فيه.
And every person will get the reward according to what he has intended.
Keep going.
And this includes faith, ablution, as-salat, zakat, hajj, saum, and the ahkam of Allah. Allah Ta'ala said, say each one does these according to
Shakilati.
his way of the religion of his community. And the spending of a man for his family with the intention of having a reward from Allah will be regarded as and the Prophet ﷺ said he has an intention.
طيب. Stop there. The chapter of what is said in regards to all actions occur or are judged or are produced, come about, right? Due to the intention. Well, hisba. And hisba here, it means seeking a reward from Allah. That you didn't do it. Why did you do that action? Right? You came here to study in the masjid, right? Did you come here? Why did you come? Would you come here if you thought there was no reward? No. You come here hoping to get a reward from Allah, right?
Right.
Why do you pray?
For sake of Allah.
Because you hope that Allah is going to reward you. Why do you fast? You hope Allah is going to reward you. Why do you give zakat? Anybody just gives zakat because they're like, yo, I really hate this money in my pocket. I don't like having money. So I'm going to give it to you. Anybody feel like that? No, you give sadaqah. Why? Because you're hoping that Allah is going to reward you for it. Does that make sense? طيب. And every person will have that which they intended. They will be rewarded by that which what? They intended. So he says, فَدَخَلَ فِيهِ الْإِيمَانِ. What enters into that title of everything is by intentions is Eemaan. Even your Eemaan has to be what? Based on intentions. See how beautiful this is? Even your Eemaan must be judged by your intentions. As well, al-wudu. We all know what wudu is, right? Waisu, right?
Yeah.
You have to have intentions before you make wudu. Can you make wudu? If I go into the bath, I go somewhere, I want to wash my face or wash my hands, but I'm not intending wudu. I'm just doing it because I'm tired or I'm hot, and I rinse my mouth. I do everything. Can I go pray? No, not unless I had intention to remove hadath al-asghar, the minor impurity from myself. You understand? Unless I had intentions, then my wudu is not accepted. And he said the salah. Can I get up and do the whole salah without intending that I'm making salah? Yes or no? Same with zakat, same with hajj, same with fasting and all the other laws, with ahkam. So all the other laws in Islam, the same thing. You have to have what, Abdurrahman? Abdurrahman, you have to have what? How do I want to stand up? Stand up. You sleep. Where are you at? Playing Fortnite last night? طيب. Then he mentions the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. Every person works in accordance to his shakila, يعني niyya. Every person works in accordance to their intentions. So people say, right? Somebody should say, oh, I didn't intend to punch you. Well, I got a black eye. So how did you not intend to punch me? Unless you know it was an accident. But if you took your fist, looked at me, and punched, then that means what? You intended to punch me. Right? So, everyone, كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. Every person works in accordance to his intention. If I leave the house, right? Give me an example. And I don't have a qamis on, right? And I have tight pants on, وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, right? Tight shirt, وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. May Allah protect us, right? And I say, oh, I wasn't trying to show my aura. You know people say like this? I wasn't trying to look like some kafir person or some homosexual, right? I just came outside like this. What would you say? Yeah, all right. Right? It makes no sense. You came outside with tight pants and tight shirt on like the kafirs do, right? So obviously what? You were trying to look like a kafir. Everything is by its what? Intentions. If the girl comes out, she doesn't have proper hijab on, or she doesn't have hijab on at all, or she has hijab and under it, she has another outfit to switch into at school. And she said, but I wasn't trying to not be modest. It wasn't my fault. I didn't. No. We got to be realistic. The first thing we have to learn how to do if we want to change is change our intentions. And that's the hardest thing sometimes. Or they say, oh, I wasn't trying to get looked at. But you went outside wearing things that you know people are going to look at you with. Kullun ya'malu ala shakilati. Is this right, Munira? Everyone works by their intention. If you did it, guess what, Muna? Guess what? If you did it, guess what? You intended it. You're going to get what you intend. So I'm giving you an example that people use all the time. Girls will say, oh, the boy said something crazy to me. Or why the boys, like this. I'll say, well, what did you have on? Yeah, they were wrong. They should have lowered their gaze. But what did you have on? Ya ukhti. Well, I had on tight dress and my hijab was not correct. And, well, guess what? You got rewarded for what you intended. You got what you intended. You wanted that talk. You wanted that look. Can't tell me you didn't. Why? Everyone works for what they intend. And everyone knows what they really intend. Can't play the game with Allah. You can play with yourself. You can play with your parents. You can't play the game with Allah. Allah knows why you did it. Right? Allah knows. Oh, I wore perfume and went outside, but I didn't want men to smell me. Huh? So who you thought was going to smell you? The air? Oh, just the air was going to... No, don't play games. Everyone works by their intention. I went to the barber shop, and I didn't tell him not to touch my beard, and he shaved my beard. It was an accident, yeah? Tell that to somebody who really believes that. I didn't tell him to cut my hair off halfway. You didn't tell him not to either. And you were happy when he did it. So I look fresh. I'm lit now. Right? No, you light yourself with a fire. Jahannam. Well, look at the kafir. So the reality is, right? Oh, I got a better one for you. Better example. I didn't mean to talk in Mu'allim's class. Then why are you running your mouth? Right? I didn't mean to. We say this so much. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Meaning, what does I didn't mean to mean? La aqsidu dhalik. بالعربي, right? Oh, ما نويت ذلك. I didn't intend that. Yes, you did. Because you did it. Right? Because you did it. Punch you in the face. I meant to do it. So we got to stop playing games with ourselves. The first way to change yourself is to work on your intention. Why did I do that? What was the reason I did that? Look at that. Check yourself. Ask yourself. Why did I do that? If you can't talk to yourself, right, and have that conversation with yourself, why did I commit that sin? Why did I do what Allah is not happy with? Then you'll never be able to grow. Do we understand that? Does that make sense? How will you grow if you don't know what you need to change? You got to work on your heart first. The heart is the driver. And the heart is the niyyah is what? An action of what? What is niyyah? Action of what? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Niyyah is an action of the heart. Niyyah is an action of the heart. What did my heart promote me to do? Why am I not doing better? Because my heart doesn't intend it. I don't want to do better in reality. You got to change your hearts, clean them up, and try to change your intentions. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Somebody tell me what I just said then. So can we from now on say, I didn't mean to do that when I did it purposely and I did it all day long? It's not acceptable, right? I'll give you a better example. I didn't mean to have my Asha be weak. Did you work on it all day? Okay. Well, then that's different. Then. If you worked on it, it's still weak. Then it's just, sometimes it happens like Khadar ma sha'a fa'ala. Right? Allah says in the Quran, نَكْتُبُ لَهُمْ وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَآ آثارهم, right? That we're going to write down for them what they did and the effects of what they did. So sometimes, honestly, right, honestly speaking, sometimes you might do something, right, and you didn't intend to hurt that person, or you didn't intend for that outcome. But as well, the outcome might not be what you intended, right? You have to accept that as well because you did it, right? You threw it in the air. If I throw it in the air, right, I throw a big old knife in the air and it falls down and it hits somebody. I might not have intended that. I was playing around. But it hit somebody. I have to accept that I did that, right? Even though I didn't intend it. And I might have to pay some money to fix that, right? And fix this surgery and pay the family so they don't want to beat me up, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's true. So we have to accept that. And the big thing that we have to accept is what, Abdurrahman? That we have to stop playing around with our intentions because whatever we do, we intended to do it somehow, right? What's the ayah that we want to remember? كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِي. And shakila means niyyah. Everyone works by their intention. Stop playing games with yourself. Lying to yourself. If you want to change, what do you have to do to change? Change your intention. Why are you doing it? I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be known. I want to be this. I want to be that. Change your intention and you'll change a lot. Seek to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and things will become easier for you, inshallah. Okay? Tayyib. So, then it comes a narration, the Prophet says, نَفَقَةُ الرَّجُلِ عَلَى أَهْلِهِ يَحْتَسِبُهَا صَدَقَةً وَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ وَلَكِنْ جِهَادٌ وَنِيَّةٌ. That the Prophet ﷺ said that a man spending nafaqatu rajuli ala ahli. It's a benefit we have to learn here as well. That a man spending, providing for his family, it can be considered sadaqah. It can be considered sadaqah. As the Prophet ﷺ said, ibda bi nafsik wa man ta'ud. Start with yourself and whoever you are responsible for. Whoever's in need of you. Here goes a question for me. Even though it might be true, the opposite as well, right? What did the Prophet ﷺ say? Is it still good?
Low battery.
It's still recording, I think. It's still recording, right? Tayyib. So, what did the Prophet say? Did he say nafaqatur nisa or nafaqatur imra ala rajuli ala zawjiha? Or did he say nafaqatur rajul ala ahlihi? He said a man. Right? A man spending on his family. That means that what's normal and correct is what? What's normal and most correct is what? Men should speak up. What's normal and most correct is what? What'd you say? What's normal? I'm going to ask you this question again. It's very sad that you guys are quiet. Why are you hiding now? What's most normal and correct when it comes to providing for a family? The man provides, Abdurrahman, right? Again, I'm going to ask you again. What's normal and most correct? That the men provide and take care of their family. Is this still straight?
Yeah.
Okay. That the men provide and take care of their family, correct? Yeah. Again, let's say this so we get this correct because it seems like some of you are scared to say it. What's normal, Abdul Fattah? Speak up. Speak like a man. The man spends on his family, barakallahu fikum. The man takes care of the manly things. He goes out. Kullu nasi yaghdu faba'i'u nafsahu aw mu'tiquha. Every morning, the man should go out. Right? The man should be sitting at home, playing games. Men, it's their responsibility to go out every day and try to earn a living. However they got to do it. It's not proper or normal for a man to sit home and wait for the wife to come pay the rent. Or to wait for some government agency to pay the rent. Not to say that it's not, if it's permissible or not. We're talking what's normal and best. The man has to have rujula wa muru'a. Has to have some manhood and take care of his family. Right?
Right.
So, the Prophet ﷺ said, that's sadaqah for the man. He spends on his family, spends on his wife, whatever, right? It's considered sadaqah. MashaAllah. Why does it become considered sadaqah? he has the intention to get close to Allah through it. Not because, oh, I love her and I'm going to buy her this nice thing. Yeah, that's nice. And you might get a reward for treating your wife nice. But if you want to get the reward from sadaqah from Allah, then you have to intend what? To get close to Allah by doing it. You have to intend that I'm doing this because I want Allah to love me more. Yes, you should do it to be nice. And that's rewardable as well. Allah subhanahu bil ma'ruf, and live with them in kindness, right? And that's rewardable too, but we're talking about here. How do you get the reward of sadaqah? By your intentions. You intend it to be for the sake of Allah. Tayyib? So we go, and we mention the hadith, famous hadith, where the Prophet ﷺ, he says, where the hadith it goes, oh, read the hadith please, Munira. It's okay. No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hamdi. Chapter what? It might be. I don't have chapter numbers in my book, but it's hadith number 54. No, hadith number 54. Yes.
The reward of deeds depends upon the intention, and every person will get the reward according to what he did. So whoever immigrates for Allah and His Messenger, then his immigration will be for Allah and His Messenger. And whoever immigrates for worldly benefits or for a woman to marry, his immigration will be for what he immigrates.
Tayyib, one of the most beautiful things in our deen, people are afraid to talk about these days, is intiqal min bilad al-kufr ila bilad al-islam. Right? Hijrah. Leaving from the bilad, the land that kufr is widespread. We're not saying that the lands of the Muslims are perfect. We know they're not, right? Reality. The lands of the Muslims are not perfect. They're not utopias. But you take in Islam there's a principle that you try to minimize your harm and maximize your benefit. You're not going to find a perfect situation today. But you want to minimize the harm and maximize the benefit. So the Prophet ﷺ says in his famous hadith that everyone should know and memorize, right? حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلمة قال أخبرنا مالك عن يحيى بن سعيد عن محمد بن إبراهيم عن علقمة بن وقاص عن عمر رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الأعمال بالنية ولكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله ومن كانت هجرته لدنيا يصيبها أو امرأة يتزوجها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. Huh? The wording is not the one that you know, right? It's a little different than the wording you know. Naam, this is the wording that's found in Saheeh Bukhaaree. Right? It's the wording that's found in the Saheeh of Imam al-Bukhaaree. طيب. So it comes on the authority of Umar radiallahu anhu. Who's Umar? Who is Umar? A Khalifa? That's it? Just A Khalifa, Umar. SubhanAllah, this is Umar al-Faruq. He was the second Khalifa, Amir al-Mu'mineen, al-Faruq, the one that the shaitan would cross the street when he saw him coming, the most just, known to be the most just amongst the people, the one that Islam spread under his lead, under his authority, right? Yeah. You gotta put some respect on Umar's name, right? Say Umar's name like that. What's wrong with you? SubhanAllah. This is Umar al-Faruq. Say his name should be right? Not a little guy. You know, they say Umar was so tall that his legs would touch the drag on the bottom of the ground when he was on the horse. It's a big guy. Put some respect on Umar's name, man. So anyway, Umar radiallahu anhu, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, actions will be judged. Actions are produced, right? Are initiated, right? Are initiated by what? Intentions. Actions don't come from anywhere. There's an intent that comes before the action that makes you do it, that initiates the action, right? There's an intent, there's a motive, right? That comes from where? Where does that motive come from, Muna? That initiates and produces and brings about certain actions, right? I remember. No, that's another thing, right? So That's what we have to understand. Very important. Actions don't come from no reason, right? If you get angry, it's probably a reason you got angry. What happened? Right? People say, what happened? Why are you angry? That's the same thing we should say for every action. Esma, right? Off the wall, please. Right? Every action, we should say that same thing. Why did you do that? Ask yourself, why? Right? So, الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ وَلِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَىٰ. Every person will be rewarded or have that which they intended. Why you did it is what you're going to get. Do we understand that? You're going to get what you got out of it. If you did it for the sake of Allah and His Messenger, then that's what you'll be rewarded for. Right? But if you did it for the dunya, then you'll get just that, only the dunya. As the Prophet ﷺ said, فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. For whoever migrated, they did this huge act of obedience. As the Prophet ﷺ said, الْهِجْرَةُ تَجُبُ مَا كَانَ قَبْلَهُ. That hijrah removes whatever came before it of sins. Right? Just like Hajj, just like entering into Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever does this huge act of obedience to Allah and they migrate, they leave their homeland, they leave where they were comfortable with, and it was for Allah and His Messenger, then he'll be rewarded, then he'll get Allah and His Messenger. If he migrated to Allah and His Messenger for the purpose of Allah and His Messenger, then his migration will be rewarded as being for Allah and His Messenger. So that we learn here two things, right? That when we do action, it has to be sincere. It has to be sincere for Allah. If it's an act of the akhirah or act of ibadah, we have to do it for Allah. If we don't do it for Allah, we're only going to get what we desire in this dunya. So in the Prophet ﷺ, he said after that, وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا. Whoever migrated, right, to get part of the dunya, maybe he wants to go to there because it's a job. Maybe he wants to go there because there's some money there. يُصِيبُهَا, to get something of the dunya. Or يَتَزَوَّجُهَا, or for a woman to marry. He says, oh, I want to go here because there's some lady here to marry, right? Or some man there to marry. Then his hijrah, his act that should have been for Allah and get rewarded by Allah, he only get that which he actually migrated for. That makes sense? Yes or no? Yes. So what brings about actions? What brings about actions? What produces, initiates actions? Intentions. And what should our intentions be for acts of worship? For the sake of Allah. And what will you be rewarded in accordance to? What you intended. So sometimes we could do the same action. Two people could do the same action. Right? But by why you did it is going to be, why you did that action is going to be the reason that you're either rewarded or punished. We can do the same action. And one person can get rewarded and the other can get punished. You understand that? Depending on what?
Intention.
On your intention. See how important intention is? You can get punished for doing a good deed based on your intention, and you can get rewarded for doing a good deed based on your intentions. Is that clear? Sorry. The next hadith, go ahead, Hamdi. Come on. Hadith number 55.
The Prophet said, if a man spends on his family with his intention of having a reward from Allah, sincerely for Allah's sake, his kind of reward from him.
اوكي طيب. حدثنا حجاج بن منهال قال حدثنا الشعبة قال أخبرني عدي بن ثابت قال سمعت عبد الله بن يزيد عن أبي مسعود عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا أنفق الرجل على أهله يحتسبها فهو له صدقة. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said what? If a man spends on his wife, on his family, wife, whoever it might be, intending by it to get a reward from Allah, then it's a sadaqah for him. Again, what's the purpose of mentioning this hadith here? To show that intention enters into every action. That if you make your intention to please Allah, you can get a reward for almost any action that you do. Right? Any action you do, you can get a reward for it. So again, it comes back to what? And this doesn't mean, look at the narration, right? إِذَا أَنْفَقَ الرَّجُلُ عَلَى أَهْلِهِ. It doesn't just mean the husband to the wife. It means you young boys too. You spend on your sisters. You spend on your mothers. You spend on your aunts. How many, let's ask this question. How many young men spend on their sisters? Or is it the other way around, that their sisters spend on them? It's a good question to ask. Right? That's something that's important because it builds manhood in you. Your sisters, you know, it happens, of course, maybe your sister's older than you, but you working age young men, your sisters and your mothers should not be buying your clothes. My sister had to take me school shopping. How long have I been seriously? 16, 17 years old? And your sister's taking you to school shopping? Why you don't have a job? Seriously. It's manhood things. These are things about building manhood. 16, 17 years old, you should be buying your sister stuff. What do you need, sister, this week? Okay, alhamdulillah, I got it. Don't worry. You got to go to the store? I'll take you. It's part of manhood. We're losing a man, or we're losing our men because you're young boys. Don't see yourself as being young men. You see yourself as being young boys. Right? How old are you? How old are you? Huh? 13. You're a young man. Most likely in Charlotte, right? How old are you? 13 too? Oh, I thought you were so much older. You're a young man. How old are you? Young man. How old are you? You're definitely a young man, right? We have to fix this mindset. Hey, these guys are not going to spend on you if you talk in my class. I'll tell them don't spend a dime on you. Oh, you guys have the money? They're talking bad about you guys, man. They have the money. You got to fix this, man. Go break some lawns. You know what's, how many of you guys, let me ask you a question, right? It was summertime. When I was young, during the summertime, right? What? Yes. When I was younger, right? During the summertime, the young boys would get a lawnmower, they'd put their money together, get a lawnmower, and they'd go cut people's grass, right? You don't need a work permit to do that. You're 13, 12 years old. You could be mowing people's lawn. People will give you $5, $10. Imagine if you do 5 lawns in a day. Most of the time, the city is just the front yard. It's not nothing big, right? $5, $10. You do 5 houses, that's $50 a day, right? You gotta know how to make money. The winter time is coming. You should be working out, doing some push-ups, right, to get ready to shovel some snow. So when you see the snow come, we used to go, subhanAllah, grab shovel. Oh, it's snow. Oh, we're gonna make some money today. And we go shovel people's yards. You make money. Guys are lazy, man. Expecting somebody to take care of you. That's not from Islam, and it's not the Sunnah. As we see the Prophet ﷺ is telling us here, right? إِذَا أَنْفَقَ الرَّجُلُ عَلَى أَهْلِهِ. The man should spend on his family. Should take care of your family, your sisters, your mother, your aunts, right? Your nieces. Make sure that they're taken care of. So what do they learn? What do you want to teach them? This is a lesson too. What are you trying to teach them? There's a benefit. You're teaching them that they should be taken care of. That it's not their responsibility to take care of their husband when they get married. Right? You want them to know that. That, listen, well, I didn't grow up like this. My brothers took care of me. What do you mean I got to go work? They should be afraid. Well, oh, husband, what do you mean you're making me go to work? I didn't sign up for that. Woman, seriously. Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, right? Who knows who Shaykh al-Albani is? Anybody know? Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah. You don't know who Shaykh al-Albani is? Oh, you know? Okay, mashallah. You know Shaykh al-Albani? Shaykh al-Albani said, from the things that a woman imitates a man in. Pay attention to this. From the things that a woman imitates a man in, and they don't even realize it, he said, is that they get up every morning and go to work. Ajib. He said they don't even realize that they're imitating men in this behavior. That a woman gets up in the morning and goes out the house and goes to work is not from the norm of women. It changes their character as well. Why? How does that change? We talked about it before. We talked about subhanAllah. It changes them. Women have a normal, soft character. If they have to go to work and deal with other men and deal with people yelling at them and deal with all this stuff, it causes them to become hard. Men have a different attitude. We can deal with people, right? But women normally are not used to being yelled at or used to having to deal with harsh men or deal with so many different men. That's not normal. So it makes them become hard and it causes them to act like men. And we wonder why some of these ladies are so strong. Like, whoa, is she a lady or a man? ready to punch me. It's our fault because we don't protect them the way that we should. We don't shelter them the way that we should. We send them out to go to work. Go to work and bring us the money back. Help pay the rent. Like, how do you tell your daughter to go help pay the rent? How do you tell your sister that she should be helping pay the rent? It's not from Islam. It's not from rujula. It's not from muru'ah. May Allah protect us and preserve us. But this is not correct. And it's become too common in America. Right? That soon as our daughters and sisters reach a certain, she can get a job now. Seriously? You go get a job. Go get 2 jobs. Go get 3 jobs. But protect your women. Protect your women. Because then when something happens to them, or they get into some situation, you dumb father. Seriously. You dumb brother. You let her go out there with this young, weak, woman, and you send her out to the wolves. This is a problem in Islam. It's never been known like this. Even in America, do you know that women did not go to work until when? Who knows? World War II. It was uncommon. That was less than 100 years ago. It was not common for women to leave the house and go to work. And do you know what happened as soon as they started to do this? The families broke down. The divorce rate went up. The rate of adultery and zina went up. Right? That was the first wave of what they call feminism. And they said, we should work. Then after that, they said, we're equal to men. Then after that, they said, we are men. Right? But it starts with that the men have to be men. If the men become men, the women will respect. They'll fall in line. But the men are not doing their job, so the women are afraid that if we don't work, we're not going to eat. I think I should move on to the next hadith. That's all. All right, read the next hadith. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas.
Allah's Messenger said, you will be rewarded for whatever you spend for Allah's sake, even if it was a morsel that you put in your wife's lap.
Who's talking? Who's that? Who is it? Sabirin, you talking in my class? Who is it? طيب حدثنا الحكم بن النافع قال أخبرنا شعيب عن الزهري قال حدثني عامر بن السعد عن سعد بن أبي وقاص رضي الله عنه أنه أخبره أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إنك لن تنفق نفقة تبتغي بها وجه الله إلا أجرت عليها حتى ما تجعل في فم امرأتك نعم. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it says in the hadith of Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, right? Who narrated this hadith? Not you, the girls. Who narrated the hadith? Not you, the ones who are talking. You were talking? You see the trick question, right? You didn't even get it. That's how you find out your answer, right? That'll be tricky, because they're tricky, brother. If you don't know their tricks, they'll trick you. Alright? Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, stop talking. Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas is the one who narrated the hadith. Right? He said, the Messenger of Allah, it was أنه أخبره, that he informed the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, إنك لن تنفق نفقة تبتغي بها وجه الله إلا أجرت عليها. That you will never spend and do some spending or use your money seeking to please Allah by doing that, seeking the face of Allah by doing that, except that you will be rewarded for it. Do you understand that? Anytime you spend your wealth, even if it's obligatory for you to spend on it anyway, right? Like spending on your wife, spending on your family, it's obligatory, right? You will never spend your wealth seeking the face of Allah, except that you will be rewarded for it. Even for what you put in the mouth of your wife. Whatever food, right? You put in the mouth of your wife. Whatever food you put in the mouth of your wife. Amazing, brothers. Allah, amazing. Morsel, food. Morsel is a little piece of food. Amazing hadith. Amazing, subhanAllah. Imagine every time that you as a man, you buy food for the house. Every time that you, wait a second. Every time you buy food for the house, right, out of your pocket that you worked hard for. Wait, you know what? Let me hear your question first, then I want to say this. Go ahead.
Okay, so the woman provides. Does she get like double the ajr, or since the man's supposed to do it?
Tayyib, I'll deal with that afterwards because we got to look at that. So, every time you buy food, imagine this, right? And let's say you bought some rice. Hey, look at the little rice, right? Every grain of rice you get a reward for that she eats. And you say, man, keep eating. Eat more, please. She said, why are you trying to make me fat? Hey, just keep eating. Every time she eats, you're just smiling. Eat more. Eat the meat too. Did you eat that? Eat. Hey, subhanAllah. See how kind Allah is to us? Right? You go to work hard. That's the reward for your work. You go to work hard and you struggle every day to make those $10, $15. Right? And you come and say, hey, cook this. She cooks it that you can cook this too. They say, eat more, please. And she keeps eating and eating. And you just smile every time she's eating. Or even, subhanAllah, you want to be kind. It shows you also from the sunnah to be kind and what they say romantic, right? That you might put it, you feed her. Right? Yeah, don't laugh, it's serious, right? It's from the sunnah. Right? You feed her. You're laughing. That's the sunnah. So, you feed her. This is all, subhanAllah, beautiful stuff. Right? Islam teaches you to be kind. Right? We shouldn't be rough. Oh, my wife. No, you got to be kind. That's what Islam teaches. Then, as well as just feeding her, what about you pay the national grid, right? Pay the light bill. You pay her phone bill. You bought her a phone, nice iPhone, right? She's happy for the first day. Then she forgets after a week you even bought it, right? After the first week, she don't even remember who bought the phone for her. She just knows she has it. But every time she's using it, she's happy reading Quran, right? She's reading Quran on that phone. You're getting rewards. You bought the stuff in the house. Every time she walks on that nice rug you bought her, you get rewards. If you made your intention to seek the pleasure of Allah. See how kind Allah is? We should be happy as men to get that reward, inshallah. Then, on the other hand, the lady should be grateful that somebody spent that on her. Right? She shouldn't forget.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر
Allah.
لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة. Nah, so alhamdulillah, I just realized we only have one more class left out of this book. It's like 3 hadith left. We could have finished it today probably, but mashallah. So we're done, inshallah, with this book. May Allah make it easy for us. Now, in regards to what Ms. Mula asked, if a woman spends on her husband or her family, right, and it's not her obligation, does she get a double reward? Allah knows best. I don't know. I don't have a proof for it. I don't know a proof for it. But what we do say is that the woman is not obligated to do such. If she does such, it's out of her kindness. Also, I mean, sometimes if she does such, it's out of her kindness. But it shouldn't be where she feels like it's her responsibility. Right? Like, if I don't work, we're going to die. If I don't work, we're going to get kicked out of the apartment. If I don't work, that shouldn't be, unless, maybe the husband has a disability, or maybe the husband, subhanAllah, he's working. Let's say the husband works hard, but it's just not enough. She can either work to help or be patient upon what they have. But if she wants more, and he's doing his best, she can either be patient or she can help. She can help for sure. But it shouldn't be that the husband is just chilling at home. Or he's not really doing this, but he can do more. He's not that tired. He comes home and he goes hang out all day and someone, oh, well, I don't make enough money. Well, go get another job. You have time. It shouldn't be where the husband is just a lazy guy and is not trying his best. If he's trying his best, and maybe, he doesn't have enough education or enough skill, and he just can't get but a certain type of job, then alhamdulillah, help him if you can. Let's say the woman has education and she has some skill, then is it better for her to leave him or for her to help him? She should help him, inshallah. And this was known during the time of the Prophet ﷺ as well, that the wife of Abdullah bin Mas'ud used to spend on him. Right? He was a talib al-ilm. He was a student, he was a scholar actually, Abdullah bin Mas'ud. And she used to spend on him so that he could do what? Use his time to teach. So she would spend on him like this, right? We know that the Prophet ﷺ was employed by Khadija radiallahu anha, right? But he worked, right? It wasn't just that he was, but she spent on him as well. So it does happen, but it should always remain, and this is for the men. You have to know your wife, right? You have to know your wife. If you let your wife work, and she's the type of person that throws it in your face, I wouldn't let her work if I was you. What does it mean, throw it in your face? Oh, what? I paid that bill. You're like, man, subhanAllah, okay? You got to tell the whole neighborhood? He's screaming outside like that, right? That's not from izzah of a man, that he allows somebody to be on top of him like this. So if she's a nice woman, mashallah, she's working, and she's just quiet about it, like, I'm helping, and she's doing it, seeking the face of Allah, to like, I'm helping my family, mashallah, may Allah bless her. But if she, now she wants you to, she's like punch you in the face, like, oh, you not a man, and she don't treat you like a man because of it, then you got to preserve your honor, right? Preserve your honor. Preserve your honor and do what you have to do. Men, we should always have honor with our situations. And a woman, if she does fall in this situation, she should be honorable and kind as well. And she should not be the type of person who is manan, that she does something for the family or she does something and she throws it, yeah, but I bought the car. Man, I can't drive it? I'm just going to the masjid. Right? She's like, nah, you can't drive nothing. Nah, don't be like that. Be a woman that's, trying to help the family if that's the situation. But hopefully we want the men to be strong, right? And to work hard. The man should go out and when he comes home, he should be tired, if that's the case, right? But he should try his best to make sure he provides for his family. But I don't know this woman if she gets a double reward. Allah is kind. Allah will reward the people how He sees fit. You don't even want a double. Forget double. You want 600, 700 times the root, right? So inshallah, Allah will reward a person according to how sincere they were in what they did. That makes sense? Any other questions? Sorry, Jazakumullah khairan. Oh, homework for next week. I have a quiz. I'm going to let you guys work together, but I'm not going to let you use your phones during the quiz. The quiz is going to be, as a group, I want you all to name 100 companions. 100 companions. The girls will have a group. Yes.
Everybody brings 25.
What book? This book? No. I'm just telling you, no, I want you guys to have 100 companions. Yes, you can get it from the internet. I'm telling you, for next week, you have a whole week to work on it. If I was you, the smart thing to do would be what? Each person take 10. Here it is. You divide and you work together. That's when you got to learn how to ta'awun ala birri wa taqwa. What 10 do you have? Okay, I have this 10. And you memorize that 10. Then that's your fault for not working together properly. You got to talk to each other. Who do you have? Who do you have? Okay, I have this 10. You have that 10. And you memorize it. Does that make sense? Boys, the same thing. 100 companions from the boys, 100 from the girls. Of course, the boys and the girls will have the same 100 almost, you know. But I want 100 from the girls, 100 from the boys. Companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Everything has to be a competition. Tayyib, it's a competition. 100 from the boys, 100 from the girls. Tayyib, Hadar sallallahu alaihi wasallam, subhanahu, huh? The reward I'll figure it out when we get there. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Yes.
Even Khalid is included, right?
Who's Khalid?
Khalid ibn Walid.
Yeah.